Shining stars to read us, unshadable of only two. Please choose me in the crowd. Let's growing and show become shining. Okay, our mission. Hey, can I be the only one? My heart is so full. Show me your cause. Can't hold it anymore. Now it's time singing over fighting. More the street left you alive. Unlimited. It's your power. I want to listen. I want to save you forever. Even before what is fade away. If the words first, あなたの名を呼びたい。It's like my body, it's finally. It's sweet, teach me, and I kiss now that cool was that day. Hold on me always, saving the world.
Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another First Impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Conception 2 Children of the Seven Stars. Now this is a title that is being published by Atlus, and they were kind enough to send me over a press code so that I could have a look at the title and tell you guys my personal opinion on it. It has been developed by Spike Chunsoft. I believe that the last Spike Chunsoft title that we had here on the channel was what was it again? Damn it, I forget the name. Danganronpa, I want to say. I could be wrong. Can't really remember. But anyways, what is Conception 2 all about? Well, Conception 2 is a title. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the background story of the game, just to kind of give you guys the setting. I'm not going to spoil any plot holes or anything like that. Plot holes? Any plot points or anything like that. But you guys do need to have a basic understanding of the title. So, in the world of Conception 2, there are these evil forces which consist of a power of the element dusk, or you could almost say it is the element of darkness, so to speak. And these forces are these monsters that spawn up from these locations that are known as the Dusk Circles. Dusk Circles? I think it's Dusk Circles. Not 100% sure of that name all of a sudden, even though I've been playing this game throughout the entirety, at least most of today. I've been playing the hell out of this game because it is quite addicting and it is a lot of fun. But anyways, there are these monsters that spawn from these Dusk Circles, and then there are these children which are marked by God. Well, not really children, more teenagers, which are marked by God, and they become disciples. And these disciples have varying degrees of power, which enables them to fight against these forces of dusk. And your character, the protagonist, which is a male protagonist, just happens to be one of these disciples that is called God's gift, because he has a tremendous amount of ether, which is the energy of the disciples. I know, maybe I'm getting a little bit too detailed here, but yeah. Your character is basically this really badass dude who was not really sent by the gods, but the gods have imbued you with enough power to save the world, so to speak. And how exactly do you do that? Well, for that, let's go into the Academy. Okay, so the Academy is where most of the outside of gameplay events, and why should I say outside of gameplay? It's kind of weird for me, because to me, I consider kind of like when you go into a dungeon and actually fight monsters, I consider that to be the actual gameplay, but that is it's not as simple as that, because in a title like this, a lot of the gameplay is actually developing relationships with different characters that allow you to advance the storyline, as well as not only that, it allows you to get to know more about these other characters, but also influences your actions in the so-called gameplay portion of the game. Now, currently I have these 4 female companions, classmates, whatever, that I can perform a ritual, which is one of the main mechanics of the game, which is called classmating. And how does this work? Well, classmating involves you getting together with one of these girls in a church, and you perform this ritual, and I know that a lot of people are going to draw parallels with sex. It's not necessarily sexual, but it almost looks like it, because once the ritual is done, what's going to happen is you're going to give birth to something called a star child. And this star child is something that you use to do battle, and the better your relationships are with these four characters for me, but I do believe you're going to unlock more. As you can see, there's 3 spaces there that aren't really filled. The better your relationships are with these characters, the more powerful the star children can be, as well as you can have twins or triplets, which is even better. Now let me try to give you guys a basic interaction example. So if we take a look at Chloe here, who is a teacher. If you look over there to Chloe Genus Heroine Data to the right side, that is going to tell you your current level of relationship. Now, pink bars means that you've pretty much filled up the first level of that relationship. Means you filled up that particular level of the relationship. White bars is a level that you can fill up. Gray bars means that you have to progress the story in order to get anything else out of that particular character. And as you can see, I've pretty much maxed out the first level of relation with all of these characters, because it's actually fairly easy. If you guys notice on the upper left corner, there are these 3 hearts that you have. And these hearts are basically the number of events that you can do with any of these characters. However, here's the thing. After you do those 3 hearts, you can go back to your dorm room, and you have the option in your dorm room to rest. And once you rest, you can just go back and perform more events with any of the characters. Until you eventually fill up all of these, all of the available relationship bars, at which point you have to actually advance the storyline in order to move the events onwards. You'll also notice that you have other characters here. These characters will give you different informations as well as perform different events for you, but I'm not really going to be focusing on that, because if I go into these characters, they're probably going to go into story details and stuff like that, and I do not want to spoil the game for you guys. I just want to show you guys some of the mechanics. So, for starters, let's go out with Chloe. Let's see what Chloe has to say. So we're going to spend some time with Chloe here.
Miss Chloe.
Hey, Miss Chloe, are you there?
Oh.
Welcome. What brings you here today? Now, these particular sections are not always voice acted. However, some of the main storyline plots are voice acted. In case you guys are wondering, the version of the game that I have is the digital version, and it only has English voices. It has no Japanese voices. I'm not sure if maybe there's a pack of DLC or something that you can get, or maybe the retail version, you know, the actual physical version might have Japanese voices. I don't know. The version that I have only has English voices. Whatever your troubles are, if need be, I can whack them away with my trusty ruler. That's kind of kinky.
No.
I don't think I'm here for any thwacking.
Oh, man.
I was kind of hoping I could solve this problem with my ruler. Sometimes a disciple needs a gentle thwacking. I've yet to hear a complaint. Swoosh, swoosh, thwack. Please put that ruler down. You look like a kitten with a cat toy. Oh, snap!
And then?
So what are you actually here for?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the president of Angel Marker. Oh yeah, this is a part of the storyline. I don't think there's going to be any spoilers in a date like this, so don't have to worry too much about it. But Angel Marker is the corporation that provides us with technology that enables us to fight against the monsters. So you have to be both a disciple, and the equipment that you use to fight off against the monsters is made by Angel Marker. I figured you might have met President Riyadh before.
Of course.
Yeah, I met him at an academic conference. He left quite the impression. How should I put this? He's one of those rich, handsome, ambitious, gentlemanly...
Thank you.
I got it.
Later.
Come back anytime. Me and my ruler always know the measure of a man. Oh, wow. Okay. Anyways, that was an interaction with Chloe, and if we look at the relationship bar, you will notice that there's a little bit of a hint of blue coming up on that white section on the other side. So basically, we've developed our relationship a little bit more, and if you look at the upper left corner, one of the hearts is gone. Now we can go and have an event with another one of these ladies. Like for instance, we can go meet up with Ellie. Ah, good morning. There sure are a lot of dusk circles. See, the dusk circles are the things that I told you guys about that the monsters come out of. Something else about the dusk circles is when they actually become active, because when they're not active, they can just spawn monsters, but when they actually become active, a labyrinth appears that you can go into. And then you can eventually fight a boss at the end of that, which will make the dusk circle inactive. We've already sterilized one of the dusk circles at this point in the story. I guess they'll get tougher as we keep going, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm sure there will be a lot of powerful monsters. We should be prepared.
I'll do my best.
I'll do my best not to drag you down. It seems we'll be getting more people working with us from now on.
I'm A-okay.
So I'm sure we'll be more than able to overcome the second dusk circle too. But please don't get yourself hurt trying to push yourself too hard, okay? Rushing things isn't good either, so please remember that.
Thank you.
Thank you, I'll be sure to be careful. Well, let's keep doing our best.
Understood.
Yes, we can do this. Now, every now and then in these events, you will actually have choices that you have to make in the dialogue, and that might give you a positive response if you pick the correct choice, or a negative response if you do the wrong thing. Like, for instance, at some point I went to meet Chloe, and she had a lot of stuff to do, so I thought I'd fix her lunch. And there were several options to pick, like you could go off and buy her something, or you could warm up her noodles. I tried warming up her noodles and she was upset because she said the noodles were going to be soggy because she couldn't eat them right away. So I was like, damn, I tried to do something good. And it completely changed the relationship status because she was like super happy and then she was like, meh, in regards to me. So I had to do a lot more events with her in order to actually progress that way. Also notice a very important bar on the bottom left that shows us a stat called Bond. In case you guys haven't noticed, that stat has been going up as we've been doing these different events with the ladies. Now, let's go meet up with Fuko, who is one of the first characters that you can talk to. Hey, I saw your interview. You looked kind of nervous. Were you alright? This is a story section. Don't want to bore you guys with it.
No.
Man, I'm beat. I'm really not used to that kind of stuff. You did well, though. I'm actually really glad that you're the only one they interviewed. I don't know what I would have done if I had to go in for an interview, too. You don't like doing that kind of thing, Fuko? No, I think I would pass out from the nerves the moment they said my name. I'd much rather lie in bed and eat chips while watching it all happen on my screen.
Yeah.
But still, it's pretty exciting to see someone you know on television like that. I'm sure you could see how nervous I was through the screen. You might be right. And that was another event. Now, if you guys noticed, the bond points went up. Now, why is this important? Because as you do these events, also notice that we no longer have any hearts on the upper left corner. So that means we can't do any more of these events with the ladies. But there is a mechanic in the in-game that allows you to basically, like I said, you can go to your dorm at any time. And once you go to your dorm room, you can just rest. Rest in progress time. And you could, as far as I can tell, you can do this anytime you want. It's not really a problem. You don't really have to move the story forward. If you ever just want to move the story forward, you'll notice that there is a yellow section over here at the very bottom. Proceed story. And this is kind of how you move the story forward. But you can just like do all of these events as many times as you want. Sometimes you'll get repeated events, which is something that I'm not a big fan of. But it happens. So, but you still get like bond points and that kind of stuff from doing these events. So it's always useful. Now, how do you use those bond points? And again, you guys might be wondering, when's the gameplay bit going to come in? And I'm telling you, a big part of the gameplay of this title is doing this kind of stuff. So bear with me here. But basically, those bond points are useful when you go to church to perform the, the class meeting ritual. Now, the relationship that I've been developing the most is the one with Chloe Genus. So I've been, whenever possible, I've been doing the class meeting ritual with her, and that generates the Star Children. Now, sometimes there is the possibility for twins. On this time, I don't think we have that. The very first class meeting ritual that you do actually produces triplets, so that you have like a full team. I'll show you guys how that section works. But for now, let me just show you guys the class meeting ritual. So you pick the classmate that you want to perform the ritual with. You select the matryoshka. I believe that further on in the title they're going to give you different matryoshkas which might give you different benefits, but for now I only have access to the very basic one. And you're going to get a little bit of an animation here.
Miss Chloe.
Whenever you're ready, Miss Chloe. Oh. Is something wrong, Miss Chloe?
Oh, sorry. I was just lost in thought. Classmate.
You alright?
You don't have to do this if you are.
No, I'm fine. I was just remembering the first time we did this.
It's interesting because even though this isn't really sex or any kind of intercourse, most of the female characters in the game react the same way as if this kind of was sex. You see, it's got like this interesting dynamic to it. And the thing is, you can do classmating with any of your other classmates and none of them can really complain because at the end of the day, you're just saving the world.
And then I began to feel a little fuzzy inside. My heart was racing, and I still feel a little lingering anxiety.
I see.
Here, follow my lead. Give me your hand.
Was it like this last time too? Touch my heart.
And then, after you do the class mating ritual, you're going to have a star child. This is your star child. This time around, looks like we had a boy. You can have either a boy or a girl, and then you get to select the class. Now, notice that it already has stats attributed to it. Now, I'm not that well versed in what each of these stats does, but as far as I can tell, it's like attack is more about melee, luck and tech is more about ranged attacks, mat is about magic, and speed is just a general stat that's good for everyone, as well as defense and magic defense that's good for everyone. That is what I think. I'm not 100% sure. And then you can select the class. Currently, I haven't unlocked some of these classes. I'm not exactly sure what I have to do. Probably I have to do classmating with other characters, I'm going to assume, because there's certain benefits to combining different characters and stuff like that. There's a really complex mechanic here that I'm not going to be able to explain everything. So, for this particular character, I'm just going to go with Gunslinger, because it seems like this character, of the classes that I have available to me, the best ones that she can generate are usually Gunslingers. So let's just confirm. You can also name the child. You can individually name every single one. I haven't really been doing that because you can have up to 70 children, so it's not like it's a big deal. Also, pay attention, these aren't actual, like, human... Well, they kind of are human beings because you can later do other stuff with them. It's kind of weird, but they basically make you... they introduce these as they're just warriors to help us fight against the dusk. But there, this child is now going to be born out of the matryoshka that we had. And they usually are born with a bonus, like this one gives us 5% off in bond points, so I'm going to assume that maybe the next classmating ritual that I perform is going to be cheaper. It usually costs 100 bond points. That's what I'm going to assume. So now the ritual is finished.
Miss Chloe.
Miss Chloe. Miss Chloe.
It's already done?
Well, that's not something you want to hear.
I'm sorry. I should be the one guiding you along. I am your teacher, after all.
I'm alright.
Went a lot smoother than last time.
Really? That's such a relief. Next time I will do even better. Maybe I'll even teach you a thing or two. See you later.
Okay, now let's start actually trying to get into some of the more nitty-gritty aspects of the labyrinth and team building and all that stuff. So, when you go into a labyrinth, which is when you actually go into battle and that kind of stuff, you have to select one heroine to go with you. Now, usually it's better if you take the mother of the star children that you're taking with you. Your team will usually consist of you and the heroine that you take with you. That is going to be one group, and then you're going to have 3 more groups, and those 3 groups are going to be consist of star children of your choosing. Now you can edit and mix and match this as you so desire, and I really can't go over all of the mechanics. It's just far too complex. But basically, making different combinations will give you different bonuses. Like for instance, in this particular group up here, I have 3 magicians. Grouping up 3 magicians like this, what it does is it gives me additional skills. Like if we look over here at the skills, I'm going to have Cyclone, Dual Cyclone, Meditation, and a bunch of other stuff by combining these characters into that specific group. We also have 2 gunslingers here together with a cleric. The clerics can actually cast heal. The gunslingers can cast the barrage skill. Then we have 2 swords, which are basically characters with sword and shield, with another cleric as well. And again, these different combinations will do different things. But if we wanted to change one of the characters, like we could, for instance, change this cleric with another gunslinger, and we would now have a 3 gunslinger team. However, something to pay attention to is that all of my other characters are actually level 9 and so forth, and this one is only level 1. So that's something that you have to take into consideration. Whenever you make a new Star Child, it's going to start out at level 1. But it shouldn't really be a problem for us, I assume. But yeah, you can do a lot of stuff to customize your team, and there's even some bonuses for taking the mother of the Star Children with you as the heroine, which is why you guys are seeing Chloe there next to my character. So that is really going to be all that I'm going to be doing. You can see different information about skills, equipment, and all that other stuff in the dorm room as well. But now let's actually go to the labyrinth and practice a little bit. So there is a training facility that allows us to redo labyrinths that we've already done. And that is what I'm going to do here for you guys. You can use the simulator to take on labyrinths that you've sterilized. So let's go ahead, let's train, and we should be able to go to Lust Lab. The reward for finishing it is 2,500 gold, of which we have 12,000. I'm not really hurting for money in this game. It's quite the opposite, actually. I basically did the whole relationship thing as much as I possibly could to max out relations with all the girls. And then I just did the classmating with Chloe as often as I could. And a lot of the children that were born actually came with extra gold, so that was pretty cool. But anyways, this is what it looks like when you're actually exploring a dungeon. You have yourself, the heroine that's with you, which in this case is Chloe, and then you have the 9 star children always running around. This is one of the exits of this particular level. But we're not going to be exiting, I mean we just got here. You're going to go through this door. Now these are randomly generated. And you can find treasures in here. You can find enemies like that. That particular enemy is really low level, so once I go through it, it automatically decides the battle in my favor, and we all just instantly get experience. That only happens for really lower level enemies though, because, I mean, if you really take a look at it, sometimes when you're repeating content, which in these titles sometimes does tend to happen, you have to go through the same content if you really want to be a completionist. It kind of gets boring when you're just getting into these battles where you just go in and completely destroy one of the spirits. So for this particular labyrinth, looks like we're way over leveled because we're just getting crap enemies. We don't even get to fight. So let me see if I can actually find an enemy worthy of our time. I would very much like to finish this labyrinth here for you guys. Let's just see if it doesn't take us too long. This enemy is also pretty weak sauce. Now, when you actually get to enemies that are of your level, the direction from which you attack them is actually important. So if you attack them from the front, there really is no particular benefit. If you attack them from behind, you're going to get advantages. Now, this is the end of this particular floor, so you can continue on to the next one. And it pretty much works. Like, I know that you guys know that I hate drawing parallels, but it works in a very similar fashion to Persona. And that is not a bad thing at all, because as you guys know, I've been one hell of a fan of the Persona series ever since I played Persona 4, and I know that's a lot of people have been fans for longer than me. I completely realized this. Wow, we are only getting crappy monsters here. I was really looking to actually get some harder fights, and we've leveled up. Because like I said, you do get experience for killing those lower monsters. Obviously not as much experience as you would get for killing monsters of your own level. Which is why I'm just kind of rushing through this, trying to get to a point where we will fight interesting monsters. Every now and then you will get to crossroads like this where you'll have to make a decision which direction you'll go, but every level only really has one exit. Now, the very first time that I went through this labyrinth, oh, there we go, finally, enemies that are of our level. If you notice, these ones have horns and their eyes are yellow and stuff, so now we actually get to go into fight.
Let's stay focused.
Now, I really like the battle music that they have here. The soundtrack is actually pretty good in the game. I particularly really love the soundtrack of the fights themselves. And here's how the fight works. You have an initiative. Each of your group of star children works as an individual unit, as well as your protagonist and the heroine that is with him. So right now, it's me and Chloe's turn to attack. Now, in this particular scenario, we actually have more than one enemy. If you guys notice, let's actually press attack. If we press the left and right stick, left and right bumper buttons, I can actually show you guys that there are two enemies here. Now, you can decide which enemy you want to attack and from which direction you want to attack. And that's not all you can do. You also have access to skills. These skills get developed the more you play with a specific heroine. You have a chance to actually perform these combo skills together. But however, the enemy that we're fighting off against is so weak sauce that it's not really worth it to use it. Now, something else that is important here is there is elemental opposites. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because I would bore you guys to death. But besides elemental opposites, there is something else, which is each monster has a specific weak side that you can attack him from. So you can actually go into info, and if you notice here, this particular monster is called a Wimp A, and his weak point is in the back. You will notice that over there in that whole information thing, you will see left, front, right, and back. And back is highlighted in yellow. That means that is going to be its weak spot. So, if we actually decide to attack and select the back of the monster, we're going to deal additional damage. So that was the weak point, 1400 damage there. Now, the thing is, we have two monsters, so we have to kind of divide and conquer. Now, this is my mage group, which you can clearly identify by their outfits. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to cast a spell, because mages don't do that much damage if you just do attacks. However, they deal a significant amount of damage if you perform spells. Now, I'm not going to go dual blaze because that spans a ton of mana. I'm just going to go regular blaze, and we're going to attack the other monster. We're going to put them in the back because obviously you want to hit the weak spot. That's a 3000 hit. It's probably going to die. Good night. Monster Hunter, you've earned the trophy. Now, here's the thing. Your star children can stack up on the same block as your protagonist and the heroine, but they can't stack up on the same block as other star children. So, if I decide to attack, I can't go to that block over there to my left. I have to actually either go to the block where the parents, so to speak, are, or to the block that they were originally in. But obviously, since behind is their weak spot, we're going to attack from behind. And every now and then you get these intercepts, which gives bonus damage to your attack, and boom. Even though these guys were not particularly, even though they weren't particularly challenging, they were supposed to be our level. Now, as you can see, the star children also level up individually, and they're going to gain new skills as they level up. And teaming them up, like if you team up, for instance, gunslingers with mages, you can get specific skill combinations. There's a lot of complexity to the way that you form up your team, which is really cool. Now, I'm hoping that I eventually get somewhat of a harder monster here. Here we have the advantage because we attacked from behind of the monster, if you guys noticed that. So let's see if I can show you guys another mechanic. I'm probably not going to be able to show you guys the chain drive because these guys are still pretty weak sauce. So let's attack from behind here. Now, this particular monster also has a weak spot in the left side. So we are going to put these doing a cyclone, but on the other one, because there's two monsters here as well. If you attack from the left, that is also a weak spot. As a matter of fact, if you notice, the arrow on top of the star children there is red. That means that's a weak spot. If you go over here, you'll notice the arrow turns blue. Over here, the arrow is also blue. Over here, it's red, and over here, it's red. So they're going to do their spell. They're probably going to kill him off in one hit. Yep, just like I thought. I usually always do spells with the mages, because that's the real only way they do damage. So we did another attack. The guy is still alive, but he should be going down in the next one. You can see the target's energy on the bottom left corner there. Put the gunslingers behind there, and there he goes. So just bear in mind that, like, I'm doing this labyrinth, and it's like, I know that it doesn't look that challenging because I've already done it once. I'm just kind of like repeating content. But trust me, the first time that you actually do these labyrinths, they can be pretty damn challenging, particularly if you still haven't had a solid grasp on the combat system, which, trust me, it might look easy from the way that I'm playing. It is not. There is so much complexity. Like, for instance, there's the chain drive bar, which you guys haven't really seen working yet because I'm killing everything almost in one shot. And then besides that, there is also another system, which is the ether level, which you guys will notice on the bottom right corner there. It says level 1. Like, the bigger that gets by killing enemies or by performing certain attacks, the faster your characters get. Notice that the chain drive is actually raising, but we're going to do a barrage here so that you guys can see the special skill from the gunslingers, because it's pretty cool. That's a triple barrage. That's pretty beastly. Oh wow, he actually survived that. I'm surprised. Anyways, let's go up behind, and let's just attack from behind. We should be pretty gone now.
Is it over?
At the end of each battle, you're going to get glow and experience. Now, I don't think you can actually gain glow by defeating these monsters because they're just so weak to me right now.
Here I go.
But you do gain XP, and I also believe that you can't get items when you're in the simulator, which is what we're doing right now, because otherwise there is also a chance that you get items as you progress through these different monsters. There's also treasure chests spread throughout the dungeons, you know, the usual stuff that you can expect from dungeon crawling. And basically it's the combination of both the mechanics of spawning the Star Children, or should I say conceiving, considering that the game's name is Conception 2. It's the combination of conceiving the Star Children with the dungeon crawling aspects that makes this title so unique. And it is very, let me tell you, very, very addicting. Up until this point, the story has also been pretty good. I've told you guys the very baseline of the story. Then each of these characters has different ways of dealing with things. Something that you guys probably haven't seen that much. I mean, you saw hopefully I'll put in the initial intro, and I'm going to hope that I don't actually get like a copyright claim on that or something. But there are like those 2D anime-like scenes. Usually when you go into a labyrinth, you will see a scene of your characters actually gearing up. It is very reminiscent of Sailor Moon, the way that they actually gear up, for those of you who are familiar with Sailor Moon. And it's pretty cool. I like those animations. I think the graphics for this title, they're pretty solid. I mean, they're not amazing. They're not going to blow you away or anything, but they serve their purpose. The animation looks very, very solid. Unfortunately, I haven't really gotten the chance to show you guys some of the more visually impressive attacks, but let's see if I can actually get into a fight with a decent monster that justifies me using one of those attacks, because they use a significant chunk of mana. Let's see if these guys are actually a little bit tougher here.
Here I go.
I think that these guys are a little bit tougher, but they're still not that tough. Not to mention that this is only one, so it's not really gonna be much of a problem, I don't think. Now with the mages, I'm gonna do an attack, which is something I don't usually do, but I don't feel like wasting mana on this guy. So we'll just do this. That's gonna be a crit. We will put these guys attacking from the side, which is also a weak spot. And then we'll put the gunslingers in the back, and hopefully they'll be able to finish him off. They might not. Some of my... Oh, yep, they did. He's gone. I mean, this one was slightly tougher, but still not all that. Now, we're not really going to get any advantages off in this particular battle because we... Ambush? He didn't really caught us on our backs, but...
Here I go.
So that was 71 on our main characters and 100 and something on the Star Children. Still, we're going to take the exact same approach. Going to beat them up from behind.
Let's do this.
And then going to attack from the front with the mages, because they're not going to deal that much damage. Oh, crit! Thank you very much. Going to attack from the side with the swordsman. Swordis, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to smack them from behind with the gunslingers. and it's gone. Now, as you progress throughout the game, these battles will go faster and faster, pretty much, because you just start identifying the weak spots and all that. But I really wanted to face off against the boss or something. That's something we can find one in the next couple of sections. Let's just attack from the front. Attacking from the front actually gives you a little bit of a bonus on the chain drive, as well as sometimes you have monsters that have wind-up attacks, and those will, if you attack from a section that a monster is winding up to attack to, you can actually gain additional chain drive there, which can basically slows down the monster and speeds up your team. Also notice that our ether level is currently level 2, was currently level 2 for that particular fight, because we were doing fairly well. Even though we did take some damage. The only way to actually heal damage is you have to use a heal skill, or you have to use items. Now, if you use those in battle, it consumes a turn. If you use those outside of battle, obviously you can use as many as you want. It's not really a big deal. Still attacking with the mages from the front, because they're not going to deal that much damage anyways. Then attacking from the swords from the side. They actually are pretty much deciding my strategy for me. They just put the characters in the right places and everything. I very rarely have to move them against these ones. And he's still alive. He should be going down pretty soon. Yep, there he goes. Now, there is a certain degree of repetition. Like, I actually have... I'm actually going to get rewarded for finishing this labyrinth. So, obviously, I'm getting rewarded for repeating content. But you're not necessarily forced to do so, just like you're not necessarily forced to invest as much as I am in the whole relationship aspect of the game. It's just, I'm kind of a completionist that way, and I enjoy the game that way. But I'm going to be skipping through the rest of these fights, because I mean, this is just, I'm just repeating everything that I've been doing up until this point. And I will just show you guys a more meaningful fight, and so I'm going to cut away to that. Okay, so eventually you'll come upon a portal, which when you push X to move on, it's going to say there's a powerful presence on the next floor. This means that you're going to be facing off against a boss at this point. And this is one of the fights that I actually wanted to show you guys.
Here I go.
So this is the boss of the very first labyrinth. His name is Asmodeus, and he's got some, he's slightly more challenging than the rest of the stuff that we've been fighting up until this point, which kind of justifies me actually doing one of the more special attacks. Now, one of the coolest attacks that I have so far is something that's been unlocked, which is called the Pedal Waltz, and that is going to deal a significant amount of damage on the boss, and it is also an attack that attacks from 3 fronts. So if we go to the back, it's going to attack both from the back and from both the 2 sides. Since the back is his weak point, that is going to be the best way to attack. So let's get to it, and let me show you guys the animation on this bad boy. So it's kind of like one of the more powerful attacks that you can actually do, and these will differ depending on the 2 characters that you join in the attack, so to speak. So what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to be engaging him with Cyclone, because he kind of looks like fiery to me. I'm not sure if fire is his element or not. As a matter of fact, I believe he doesn't have an element. I believe he is a physical boss. If we go on to info, yeah, he doesn't have an element. You can, or maybe I haven't found which element it is yet. I'm not sure what that means. The one like the forbidden sign that you guys see over there next to the sword and shield, right above his skills to the right. Not sure if you guys can see what I'm talking about, but there's like a square there. It's got a sword and a shield, and it's got like a forbidden sign, and then it's got a line on the other side. That kind of tells you what stuff he is strong against and what is his element. So either I don't know which element it is, or it is just the element of physical, which is actually weak against any elemental type. So we have the mages here. We're actually going to be engaging from the front, and we're going to be doing dual cyclone, because like I said, this guy is pretty tough. Boosh! Double cyclone there. Now the boss is going to do a dusk release. Whoa! That was a ton of damage. I might actually just lose here if I'm not careful. So we're going to go guns blazing. We're going to go barrage from behind, which is still not that much. Now, we do have these guys, which can heal. I just need to see who is more in need of heal. Wait, what's Divine Aegis? Increase an ally's magic resistance with Holy Might. No, let's go for a heal. They're pretty weak. They're pretty weak as well. They're even weaker. They are the weakest even, so we will get those gunslingers healed. There we go. That was a pretty decent heal. And he smacks the magicians for 200 damage, which puts them not so great. But let's go for skills, and let's go dual blaze, because why the hell not? That's another 2,000 damage right there, and I think he's beginning to like whimper a little bit, so he should be going down. Let's go with, should we heal again? Mages are looking pretty bad, so yeah, we're gonna go for another heal. I only have one cleric in the party right now. There's another Dusk Release. Massive damage all around once again. As a matter of fact, one of our dudes there is dead, which is really bad. We currently have the Gunslingers, so we're going to go for another barrage. I'm going to go all out. Take that, and he's about to go down, so we are going to finish strong with another Petal Waltz. Straight up. I was going to say to the face, but it's actually going to be delivered to the back. I really like the animation on these particular attacks. That's another 4,000 damage, and get the hell out of here.
It's over.
And that is your typical Labyrinth experience. At least that was my first Labyrinth in the game. I've only really completed one Labyrinth up until this point because I've been way too busy doing the whole social relations and the following the storyline and all that. And I can tell you guys, I've been enjoying the storyline up until this point. I enjoy the graphics. I enjoy the animations. I think that the soundtrack is pretty good as well. So overall, this is, in my opinion, a great title for the Vita. But obviously, one of the reasons why I like showing a big chunk of gameplay so that you guys can make up your own pine. Make up your own pine, so that you guys can make up your own mind as to whether or not this title is for you. Some of the stuff that I haven't shown you, you guys can go to a store. Each of the star children can be individually equipped with items. So like for instance, you can buy items, you can go to the equipment setting, and you can select like, look, I want to buy an item for this specific magician, or this specific magician, or this specific gunslinger. Each of them has their own set of equipment. Like as you can see here, this one has Ether Gun F, and we can select, we can have an Ether Gun W, which I'm not really sure what it does. It seems this one does wind damage, this one does fire damage, this one does water damage, this one is a pistol which gives you fire speed, and it costs more gold. So you have a variety of upgrades that you can do to each of your different star children if you really want to min-max. I know there's going to be people that are going to be spending ages doing different kinds of customization with their star children. Something that I also really like is, if you notice, this is one of those scenes where you just have a 2D portrait of a character that you're interacting with, in this case a shopkeeper, and it has a slight animation, you know, just so that it's not a static image. I have to say I really appreciate that. That really kind of gives you a better sense of, you know, it's not just that usual bland image that you see in JRPGs that's just like a static image. Just that little bit of animation actually can go a long way. Another feature that I haven't told you guys about, the comm station. This actually allows you to perform classmating ritual with random female classmates from someone else. So if you have someone else with a Vita, you can perform a classmating ritual ad hoc. Not with their protagonist, obviously, because their protagonist is also going to be a male character. But you can perform a classmating ritual with some of his or her female characters in another console. You can also host a blind mate, but this seems to only work with ad hoc, at least as far as I can tell.
See you next time.
So there's that, which is something that I really like about the Vita, the ad hoc technology. Pretty good. There's the lab, which I'm not exactly sure what you're supposed to do in the lab. Okay, it looks like this is where you come to get side quests. I haven't really been to the lab just yet. There's so much content.
See you soon.
So we're not going to be messing too much with side quests. And then there is also a gift shop where you can purchase gifts to give to the different characters that you interact with to improve the relationship. So this is where you can do that. Oh, Daddy, you came. Buy a gift for mommies. Why is it calling me Daddy? Oh yeah, it's calling you Daddy because here's a mechanic that I haven't told you guys about. There's so much to this game that it's hard to explain all of it in one video. There's another mechanic which is you can go to your dorm room and you can have your children become independent. Now I really didn't want to make one of mine go independent now, but I guess I can show you guys how that works. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It is. You go to Team Edit and then you go Independence. And let's say we have this cleric that's outside the party right now. We say, you're going to become independent, Seth. We're going to throw you out into the world. Yes, you want the child to become independent. So what that means is he is no longer in your control. He's going to thank you for raising him, and he now becomes independent. And what that does is it levels up the city. And as you can see, Fort City is now level 3, which will unlock additional facilities for you to do additional things. Like, for instance, the gift shop, which is why when I went to the gift shop, it actually told me, hello, Daddy. As you can see, we also unlocked something else now. A guild. I don't even know what this is. You can accept general quests from the guild and other disciples here. You will mainly receive usable items and matryoshkas as your reward for these quests. It is another side quest location, another location that you can come to get side quests. Compiled requests from the church, the academy, and all of the townsfolk.
See you next time.
So yes, a ton of mechanics. It seems like this is one of those titles that you're going to have to invest quite a great deal of time to get the most out of. And I think it is one of the titles that is perfect for the Vita, because you just kind of come in here, you maybe do a little bit of a labyrinth or something, and then you go out. And that's kind of how I personally see it. And it's nice to have these titles on the Vita, because there's a lot of people who constantly claim the Vita doesn't have any titles, the Vita this, the Vita that, and it's like, I'm sorry guys, I think you guys are running out of excuses right about now. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. As per usual, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.